And I hear you, but I think what black people are trying to say to that is this: we give a fuck about. We don't care about any of that. It was a game to be played. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was a Sunday afternoon. Mm-hmm. It was a game to be played for the national championship, and LSU won it. Cry about whatever your issue is. Write it down and read it out to yourself on the way home. There was a game Saturday, or it was a game Sunday. The team the white people were rooting for lost. There's nothing they can do about it. It is what it is. That's all niggas is saying. Stop. We don't care about the greater thing. Oh, niggas get your own. Stop raining on niggas' parades. It was a basketball game. It was a basketball game. And that's what it is. Niggas left it on the court. White people took it outside the court. White people took it somewhere else. That's what I'm trying to say.
But we know niggas can do their thing on the court. Do your thing in the business office.
Stop trying to move the goalposts. Now you're moving the goalposts.
No, but anytime it's something happen between black and white, that's when I'm going to come out and remind black people you ain't built it. You sold yours. So if black people make some rules that don't favor you, I'm supporting it because I want you to get your own. And when you get your own, I'm going to support that.
And I support to getting your own. But in the meantime, if I win a championship, I don't want to hear anything about sportsmanship, or I don't need you to demonize the black team because it was a black and white dynamic in the championship game. Because
somebody white said they agree.
Sit in politics because they know what it is. They know sports. Like, and at the end of the day too, and what I said on the platform too with Sit in Politics is like, I think we all agree with, not everybody is racist who's a different race, and people can understand white people is black people who can understand the outside perspective outside of race, that it was a basketball game. We acknowledge it was a racial dynamic to the game, and the racial dynamic was LSU was a black team, Iowa was a white team. You know, it was two predominantly white institutions. Just LSU was represented by black athletes. That's all it was. So you had certain races pick sides, and you had other people who just want to watch a good game. A lot of people just watched a good game. We didn't care who won. The liberal whites that act like everything was cool, or the conservative whites that act like everything was cool, just a basketball game, showed their racist hand once LSU won.
Let me ask you this.
That was it.
Why y'all what's going on? Why y'all just won't go to the White House? Why we mad about not going to the White House?
Because, like I told you before, for like the fourth time, not just you, but for the audience.
I got Bootsy coming up.
Okay, but yeah. Why we play Bootsy? But for the fourth time is this: never in the history since the 1800s has a losing team in a championship game been invited to the White House. So why? No, it's not all inclusive.
Everything else is all inclusive.
No, it's not, because never in the history of sports has a losing team been invited to the White House. So why, after this predominantly white team loses and we got all this huff and puff about the black girls doing the same thing the white girl did, why does Jill Biden say she wants to invite the white girls in Iowa to the White House after they lose? Nobody else gets invited. So what I'm saying, her saying that plays into the hands of that narrative. You gave anybody who wants to race bait ammunition to call you racist and to say it's unfair. So you have to hold white people accountable for falling for the trap, which she did. Is that correct? She fell for the trap by even saying that, knowing that that's an unprecedented thing. And the way the optics look, you're only doing it because a predominantly white team lost to a predominantly black team on the biggest stage.
And that may be true, but I just we doing all inclusive everything else, so whatever, man. I just feel like it should happen. I don't think it should matter. But it didn't matter when you didn't go. When Trump wanted you to go, you didn't care about who.
They did. Larry Bird, come get your daughter. Larry Bird, come get your daughter. They did. Larry Bird, come get your damn daughter. They did. They shot in the head.
But I don't fault white people for celebrating their people. I don't fault black people celebrating their people.
And there's another thing too, man.
Democrats don't love you.
But but why can't we have, just like boxing, bro? Nothing is wrong with a good old a racial dynamic fight. That's what boxing is. When we get the Mexican to fight the British, or we get the Dominican to fight the black, like we or the World Cup. You know what I'm trying to say? nationalities and races, we always like to see that competitive thing. That's something that the world, that's what the Olympics is. The Olympics is different nationalities battling each other for top supremacy. There's nothing wrong with that. So why, when we have that in certain microcosms, we can't just shake hands and move along like the athletes who are actually playing do? How come the people in the stands who can't hit a jump shot, if they were standing 0.1 inches away from the rim, have more emotion and things to say than the athletes who actually put themselves in a position to dictate the outcome of the game? Why don't we just take their lead and shake hands, do a head nod, and keep it moving? We don't need to internalize everything off of the optics.
I don't know.
We shouldn't be sitting here trying to victimize ourselves and live through a competitive matchup that deeply to where we have to cry foul because somebody loses.
Y'all won, but now y'all complaining about white people not being nice to y'all after y'all won. Who cares then? White people ain't got to sit here and talk nice. If white people don't like your team, they can call you whatever they want to call you. It's just sports. They're not being personal with it. Why does it matter?
But we already
white people can't call y'all names. Y'all call white people name all the time.
But it's not. They're missing what the point was. Very prominent white people, media outlets, the first lady, like certain white liberals that be act like they got a bunch of black friends. Like, we already know there's going to be that subgroup on Twitter. We already know it's going to be racist talking shit. It was the ones that have a platform, or even white, certain Hispanics, just certain Asians, just people who are historically there to wag their finger at black people for straw man arguments, exposed themselves and did it again. And all black people said was, dog, we just looked Danny Cannell. We just went on your Twitter, scrolled 6 tweets, and seen you retweet the Caitlin Clark doing the same thing 2 nights ago and saying how this was flair and charisma. We just calling people out for being hypocrites. That's all that was going on.
No. Salute. And I'm not saying that,
right,
y'all was wrong, but I'm just trying to
Yeah.
I don't see the big deal. I just feel like, white people don't have to be nice to us. We can just do our thing. I think gonna be on both sides. It's gonna be whatever. And if they want to change the rules and say, hey, we're gonna bring both teams to the White House, America is going a different way. Black people don't kick back when they trying to bring the transgender to the school. Black people don't kick out back about nothing else, But you want to worry about that? It don't matter no more,
bro. But everybody got
the way it's going.
But it was a law passed. Matter of fact, no, because it was even a law passed in I think North Carolina about children's sports, to where they're not going to be handing out participation trophies anymore. And they passed because they're like, kids need to know the realities of things, that you're not going to always get a trophy in life. Like, you're not going to be good enough sometimes, and that builds character. So to compound that, you have student athletes, right, just coming out of childhood, who know the importance that everybody's not going to get a trophy. We're not going to get a 6th place trophy. Okay. And we in America is starting to combat that everybody gets a trophy mentality. And by trying to invite the losing team up there, reiterates a softer, everybody should win type of conversation. And as a proud American, that is not what we need to be showing and representing the country, especially the way that a lot of these other adversary countries are grouping up with currency. The last thing we need to understand and try to get over on the youth is that we all can win, and that there's enough room for everybody. That was not what this country built off of. That's not what capitalism is built off of.
I agree with that.
So the last thing you need to do is have the White House acknowledge some fucking losers.
But I'm saying this in perspective of me. I'm a conservative. I agree with what you're saying. But black people, y'all vote for these people that we constantly tell y'all they don't like y'all. They don't fuck with y'all. Why y'all keep voting for these Democrats? Y'all defend Biden, from up to down. Yeah, I got the link right here. So when Joe Biden and them make a decision, hey, I want y'all to stand with y'all people. They said both could come. Black people was, you ain't black if you don't vote for Joe Biden. His wife say both could come now. And that's what black people wanted. Now y'all want to say, oh, no, that's what y'all wanted. That's what y'all voted for. But what's the problem? Trump wouldn't have did that, I guarantee it. That's just all I'm saying. I just like to remind black people, this is what you chose. When you complain about the sports league, if you say, yo, they don't say nothing when she talk, but they say something when black people taunting, Hey, y'all sold the Negro League, deal with it. When you say, goddamn, oh, why you inviting both of us, the white losing team and the black winning team, to the White House? Hey, you was riding for Biden, live with it. Don't sit here and complain now. You was riding with Biden, live with that shit. Black people, y'all was y'all boo. Her and the family, the Obamas, yes, y'all roll with them. Y'all didn't want the other side. Don't act like y'all want y'all want conservative shit, but y'all want to vote for these Democrats and liberals and shit. And this is what they think of you. They don't respect you even if you do win. That's what y'all need to see. So let's see how many of y'all be running out to the poll talk about Biden when it's time to vote. The same people. Same black people that are sitting here talking about, oh, why they both gotta come. Because that's what y'all voted for. So y'all need to deal with it.
All right.
What about vote for the man?
So what about the black people who didn't vote for him? Can they have a voice and speak on him?
Don't make the one complaining, trust me. 90% of black people voted for Biden.
Okay, so for me, this is what I'm saying. It's a segment of people like me who didn't vote for Joe Biden and knew that Joe Biden grift from the jump.
You should be surprised. This is what you should be expecting then.
No, I am expecting it.
Okay, then.
And what I'm saying is black people handled themselves correctly in this situation and properly schooled and brought up shit. And like I said, it was a 2-for-1 win. Mm-hmm. Not only it was a 3-for-1 win, actually. Not only did LSU beat Iowa, if you want to say it was a racial game, right? Number two, they cried about it, and black people just was like, hey, you're contradicting yourself, right? Black people just basically took another W, right? And then thirdly, they kept trying to say it was a John Cena, you can't see me, and they had to be corrected and proven. Hey, make sure, hey, take him off camera. Make him show his face or whatever. Yeah, Ellie. Okay, cool.
You coming up?
Dave.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. We just don't want any, we've had situations before.
I got you.
About that.
I'm with you, Florida Boy Jay. I'm just going to try to explain it in a different way. And so what Florida Boy Jay was saying is like, even if you don't vote for the president still has to preside over everybody else. As an elected official, you can't say, well, this group didn't vote for me, so I can't do anything for them. And remember, sports is a microcosm of society. So it's literally institutional racism when the black people not only do everything that the white counterparts does, but they exceed them, but then they get the same benefits. That's literally what racism is about. So what that message sends is, regardless of what you do, we're just gonna give things to the white people. So when you apply for a job, when you want to get a loan, you might have the credit, you might have whatever it is, you might meet the qualifications.
Okay, let me slow you down right
hold on, now let him get off. Go ahead.
They're always gonna move the goalposts, and you have to remember, sports. And I say sports is a microcosm of society, but that's the reason why we have the Olympics. That's the reason why Russia detained Brittany Griner. Sports has always been about more of American society, and that's why a lot of change has actually come through sport. So if the first lady, think about this, the first lady is basically saying, hey, I know the white girls lost, but invite them anyway. That is just, what's to stop the person, the CEO at Honda dealership is saying, hey, I know the black person is qualified, but give the white girl the position anyway. That's essentially what's happening. And I think you're getting so hung up on Democrat and Republican, and you're not actually looking at, yes, and that's a very dangerous message. No matter what you do as a black person, we'll just, scoot a white person in there, regardless of your qualifications, regardless if you outperformed them. And that is a very dangerous message. Imagine being the valedictorian of your school, which comes with actual benefits, and the principal superintendent says, we'll just give it to the white person.
And that's actually happened before.
Dangerous. Yes, which is why I brought it up, and that's what I'm saying. It's very dangerous, and that for that to come from the first lady, nobody's not surprised. We're just saying, like, hey,
I'm gonna let you
do that. You can't do that in the position of the first lady of the White
I
House.
got you. Now let me throw this back at you. Then what I'm saying make even more sense. Since y'all breaking it all the way down to an institutional level, then you need a nigga like me to remind you and say, hey, y'all better start building your own because y'all see these white people don't care whether you win or you lose, they gonna pick their people. So you need a nigga like me and say, hey, y'all should be building your own. Hey, they don't care if you good no more on the court. You better be good in business because these white people don't care whether you lose or win.
But
That means a white person come in the league that's just as good as you. She going to get the sponsorships. She's going to get the ad deals. She's going to get the shoe deals over you, even if she a little good, because they don't care about a nigga being good. They're not oppressed no more. So yeah, this is the main time. If what you're saying is true, Dave, what I'm saying is making more sense and what need to be heard. And if what you're saying is true, that they don't care no more whether we good or not, they're gonna pick the white people over us. If that's the statement that they're making, then yes, black people better start building their own, supporting their own, take that same energy that you give to the white owned franchises and league and give it to Ice Cube and build his,
Well,
because
let me
they
say
don't
this.
care if you win.
Let me say this. Okay, imagine you start a architecture firm. You want to be able to get a government contract, right? To quote unquote build your own. What if you meet all the specs, you get selected, and they say, no, we're just gonna give it to my cousin, who's white. Like it's always a moving goalpost when we do try to build our own. So mind you, it's really
You're gonna
hard to
need
build your
government
own
to
in
buy
California.
land and work on it though. You don't need government to
no,
buy
no,
land and
you're
work
missing.
on it.
You keep
You
like
talking
listen.
about getting a
I no,
job.
no, no, no. But I need you to address what he's saying because he's trying to take the conversation somewhere
Mhm.
to make a point.
Yes, for people who want to stay in the dominant society, that will be a
But
problem
listen, but
for
it's certain
you.
things.
I
But
suggest
what
you
he's
go
saying,
build
but
because
listen,
white
no, no,
people
no,
ain't
no.
gonna change
This is
that.
exactly why he said a architectural contract and then a government job. The
Mhm,
reason why he said that because these are the high. Like, there's nowhere you can go. Like these, like the government jobs type stuff.
mhm,
Like this is a business
mhm.
that anybody can get in, and this is the highest you can go. So what he's saying right there is at a certain point we're eliminating. Oh, niggas need to build their own government as big as the American government. At this point,
Mhm,
we're just eliminating that conversation from the discussion and taking a super qualified, highly prestigious job where you
mhm,
can actually work directly with the government, right?
mhm.
So he's putting that there to say you made it to the level where there's not going to be any niggas in the structure to even battle or put money in the hands of, but you have to compete with white people but you have the qualifications to be employed and get these types of positions. Am I correct, Mike or Dave?
Yes, that's correct. So if you look at Amazon, Amazon just got a contract with the United States government. If you look at what Kwame Kilpatrick did in Detroit, he was
Detroit.
given he was given all these black entrepreneurs multi-million-dollar contracts. That's how a lot of white people build their generational wealth. They get government subsidized contracts. That's what happened with Atlanta. The first black mayor of Atlanta, Maynard Jackson, he made, I want to say it's 35% of all black contracts had to go to black entrepreneurs in order to build the airport. So what I'm saying is we live in a
Salute
country.
Chicks.
I
Hold
understand.
on, hold on. Salute Chicks move with the 10 cash, man. Salute Chicks move, man, for real, man. You already know we in the building, dog. You know, I hit you up this morning, man. Chicks moves out here every day, dog. Making a difference in the community, man. We always on the videos. Every time he breaks some shit, you know what I'm saying? We know we gonna cover it, dog. We covering the coverage. Chicks move outside, man. Salute for that 10. Keep going, Dave, man. I know you cooking right now, bro. You know, I'm letting you get it off because you know what I'm saying, like you're making some
And
good
I love
points.
it. Yeah, you making some good points, but I want to hear you out.
So what I'm saying is when everybody can't be an entrepreneur regardless of your race. So
Hmm.
when you do it, you do need government contracts or you need business or city contracts. If you can't get it regardless of your qualifications, that can hinder you. So you can't build your own. You can't go work for them
But let me ask
if
you
you
this:
and certain
you
pockets of our community don't have enough wealth to support you. So what are you supposed to do?
you have to figure that out.
And
But
if you look at
you
every
can't
other
build you
demographic
can't
was able
build
to
a
benefit from
business
the
in
government,
America based on white people gonna be fair with you over another white person. That's a bad expectation for a black person
But
to
what you
me.
what you're saying is you're acknowledging a ceiling and
Hmm.
then asking black and then giving black people the task to figure it out, knowing that there's a ceiling. That's the whole point of the job he
White-
brought, where you get to the highest point, but there's still going to be a ceiling. Even if you build, there's still certain things where you're going to have to, like the generational wealth, the conversation they said, there's going to be certain doors that you're going to go through, and there's not going to be any black people there, but you're going to ask black people to get the same wealth that white people got. Where you're going to get it from? You can't get it from a community that doesn't have it. If your community only
Black
owns
people got it.
Listen. Well, you're saying black people got it,
We fund
but
a lot
nobody.
of
But listen, but none of these companies are eating 100% off a black dollar to the point to at the level to what he's saying. To okay, I got to get government contracts. I got to work with this people. I'm Amazon. Who's the black Amazon? That's what we're saying. Like we need things like that, and you're saying build that, and I think we're having a discussion in the same book, just in different chapters. We're agreeing on each other's point, but we're preaching from different verses of different chapters. Like we're talking about something from Deuteronomy, and J Doug is on Numbers, and we're both subscribing to the same
y'all
religion.
in the New Testament talk about a blessing from the white man, and y'all expecting the white man to be fair with you. And I'm just telling black people that is an unrealistic thing. And anytime a white person is not fair with you, I'm going to remind you that's unrealistic to think white people is finna be fair with you over their own kind. If that's what you banking on, good luck. But it's best to go say, hey, this is what I control, big or small, build it up. I posted something on my Facebook yesterday. The NBA only been around 70 years. And it didn't take 70 years.
75, 76,
it
76.
Didn't take that long to get it popping. It got popping in probably like less than 40. So we can still be around and enjoy it. We'll be like 80 and 70, but we'll be around.
Hold on, let me say this.
And we can build our own. And we take all the black support that we give to the white man. We get organized. We start to love each other. We start to focus on each other. What the white man doing is a non-factor. We already proven that we better than the white man on the court. Let me say this.
I would agree with you, but
if we build everything else,
all the black billionaires that we have, they all complain about still encountering structural racism. So just think about that. The handful of black billionaires, Byron Allen, Bob Johnson, I forget the other guy who thought about running for president. All of these billionaires have said they still ran into structural racism.
But all the money they have.
IQ said he just not getting enough support from black people. That's what IQ said.
But you cannot bring up Ice Cube after we're bringing up the Byron Allens and certain people.
Byron Allen got a white wife. He didn't do no racism.
No, listen. We can't.
Come on, man. Yeah, you moving the goalposts to fit the narrative.
You moving the goalposts. Every time we bring up
Allen, you know how much salute the Brooklyn Honcho, man.
Where's Brooklyn Honcho?
Y'all supporting tonight, man.
Listen. What we saying is just like it's like this. It just can't be the goalpost moving, man. Because it's like we say one thing and then you throw Byron Allen has a white wife. That doesn't disqualify Byron Allen being a black billionaire.
Okay, but a billionaire. Okay. Somebody white allowed him to do business.
But we understand that. But that's the talk.
Opinion, this is what they're saying. So,
Dave, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. What I'm saying is like, where? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
What I'm saying is like, this is not Florida Boy Jay's and ours opinion. These are their lived experience. That's what they're saying. So they're saying, hey, I'm already at $1 billion and I still see a glass ceiling. So if the billionaires are experiencing it, how do you think the brother who's making 65, 50, and 40 is experiencing it? The brother who's making 120, 200 is experiencing it. And so what you're saying is, hey, just stop whining and accept it. But when the people build their own and succeed, they still run into the same structural issues. So at some point, what you're saying, I get it. It's almost like the Elijah Muhammad approach, right? Do not complain, build your own. But even within building your own, you still hit the glass ceiling. And that's the issue.
This is the reality. White people is not going to let you pass them, man. You're going to have to fight. They're not going to give it to you, bro.
But when they fight, you say you complain about it. But hold on. But when we fight, you say
they're not going to put you ahead of their sons. They're not going to put you ahead of their own, man. That's what black people have to realize. White people is not going to ever do
but
what
we're
we
not.
do.
But I
They're not
don't.
going to
But listen,
love us.
niggas ain't. But what we're saying is nobody is asking for that, especially in this conversation about the dynamic between LSU and Iowa, with LSU winning. And I think the point that we're really pinpointing on is Jill Biden, the first lady, wanting to invite Iowa to the White House, and it kind of symbolizing that you can still lose and we're gonna still put them in the same room with you. And all LSU is saying is this: we didn't even ask to come to the White House, nor do we want to. What everybody is saying is the symbolism that you're showing. What I'm saying is deeper than even a black and white issue. What I'm saying, it is an American issue that everybody gets a
Yep.
trophy, and you're softening everything up at the worst time possible, and you're trying to send. And on top of the fact, you're doing a backhanded, disgusting gesture not only to women's sports, but as a first lady, this is dangerous for you to try to break precedent. And in the women's sport, we got to invite the loser. We're gonna break it for the women because women are softer, or even though you lost, you can't take being a loser. We gotta break precedent by bringing the women in while you're trying to preach women equality at the same time. You can take a
Mm-hmm.
loss just like the man takes a loss. You can brag just like a man. You can over here and do the yayo just like a man can do the yayo. If we put a couple men on this court, you'll probably drop 60 on them. So why am I going to tell you how you're supposed to act in a highly competitive sport? That's the whole conversation of, like, we're missing the point trying to take the narrative we want from it and build a conversation around it. And that's what we were saying certain white people with prominence in publications were doing, where you're taking your point and what you've seen out of a basketball game and making this racist statement or making it a double-sided argument, when we're just trying to enjoy a basketball game. And we're just surprised that we're all sitting around the crib watching the women's Final Four, because that was the essence of the game. And that's what we need to be more focused on than some type of racial white man can't jump a basketball tournament. Like, it wasn't that. It was some women that are probably going to be in to be honest, are gonna that should be able to shift the WNBA, but the WNBA structure is so messed up that it's to me, they need to repair it.
And I feel what you're saying.
Because you should, because the only reason why Brittany Griner was over there playing basketball in Russia, because they were paying more. They pay her more money in Russia to play basketball professionally than she gets paid in America. Now, why is that?
But people don't really care about women basketball.
Still though,
They don't
that's
make
all
that
I'm
much
saying.
money commercial. It's all about commercial.
I hear you, but you kind of see what I'm saying though. Like, bro, like, you shouldn't be having to go over to your enemy's territory because they're gonna pay you more.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
And you're a professional athlete. We go to the next topic. But Dave, any closing arguments on this topic right here?
Nah, man, great discussion. Y'all keep up the good work, man.
All right, man, Dave, I appreciate you calling, man. Anytime, man. Just tap in, bro.
All right.